name's Devon Harrison. I live on the Nez Perce Reservation in Kamiah, Idaho. The need for a men's sober living home on a res. Imagine leaving the structure and safety of an inpatient facility and back into an environment that's full of drugs and alcohol, because some people go back to their family home with family members still doing drugs. Right now, we only have a women's sober living home. Men's only option is to move off the res. I am speaking on this issue by not only being an advocate, but as someone who has lived the struggle. I know firsthand how it feels to battle addiction and have no safe place to go, or didn't feel like I was a burden. I've slept in places in the cold that today I know I shouldn't have slept there. I faced days when sobriety felt impossible because I didn't have a safe place to stay. Although this was a hard time in my life, it did teach me some morals. It taught me that recovery isn't about willpower, it's about being in a place where healing is possible. Also about giving men the best chance possible. Today with the fentanyl crisis, it's life or death. I believe sobriety is stronger when it is supported. Our res needs a sober living home for men so that recovery isn't just a journey we all have to face alone, but a community victory, support system, and an accountability for others that I know the same struggle of growing up on the res. The three important things I will share in this speech is first, the reality of addiction and how housing instability makes recovery harder. Second, why a sober living home will make a powerful difference here on our res. Third, the vision of what healing and hope could look like if we build this together. Reality of addiction and housing instability. Addiction is not just about substance use, it's about surviving. When someone is fighting active addiction with nowhere to sleep, it makes the battle even harder. Without stable housing, recovery is nearly impossible. Housing instability increases stress, exposure to triggers, and risk of relapse. Research shows that individuals with opioid use disorders who lack stable housing experience more severe mental health and substance use challenges. On our res, many who want to get sober face the impossible choice: leave the community to find housing elsewhere, or stay without support. Why a sober living home matters for our res. A sober living home provides patients with more than a roof. It offers structure, accountability, and a community. Residents that live together, support one another, and follow rules that encourage safety. It bridges the gap between treatment and independent living. Many people relapse after treatment facilities back to an unstable environment. A sober living home will prevent that cycle. For Native communities, it is crucial. Recovery is strongest when we stay connected to our culture, language, and traditions. A literature review found that culturally grounded sober living environments significantly improve outcomes for American and Indian Alaskan natives. The vision, healing, hope, and community strength. Imagine a community with fewer funerals and more celebrations. A sober living home makes this vision possible. Families can be restored, parents can rebuild relationships with their children, youth, and see examples of resilience instead of despair. The res itself could grow stronger. Addiction weakens communities, but recovery strengthens them. Evidence shows that recovery housing improves long-term sobriety, reduces relapse, and fosters community healing. Long-term, it would save lives, reduce costs of emergency care, and create a healthier future for our generations. A sober living home is more than just a building. It is a stability for those that are in recovery. It is strength for our families, communities, and hope for our future. If we want fewer funerals and more celebrations, if we want to have more healing than heartbreak, then we must create a sober living home on our res. This is why we must build a safe place for our men to recover. The reality of addiction and housing instability. Without stable housing, recovery is nearly impossible. Homelessness increases relapse and isolates people from support. Why a sober living home matters on a res. Offers structure, accountability, community, keeps recovery rooted in culture and traditions, bridges the gap between treatment and independent living. Hope and community strengthens, celebrates More celebrations, more sobriety milestones, recoveries restored, youth inspired, community strengthened, long-term healthier generations, reduced costs, stronger res identity. We have buried too many loved ones. It is now time to build a place where healing lives.